It's not funny. It's just the idea of the situation is unimaginable. Overanalyzing it.
It's unimaginable.
Agreed.
Okay, here's another one. This one's a little adjacent to this. People that have thick accents. People with... Unimaginable is such a strong word.
Is that not okay?
No, it's just funny. Now I'm in that part of class where my head's down, and if I look at you, I'm going to start laughing.
We need to hide. Yeah.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please.
Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you were.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Oops the Podcast. Julio here, joined by the boys, Francis, Chris, and Ryan. Francis, how are you?
I'm better.
Good.
Much better.
Better is good.
Happy days.
Oh, happy days.
How are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. Just ripping it, making it happen. Looking forward to the summer. Very summery outfit on here. I'm enjoying myself. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. How difficult do you think it is to collect the reward when you've given information where you're promised a reward?
That's a great question.
What needs to happen? Like
Good question.
$100,000 to any information leading to this person's arrest.
Right. 10,000 cops shot, $10,000 reward for information.
So I think the information needs to lead to some sort of arrest right?
Right. And I wonder if they're going to be kind of stingy with that. Yeah. If I said, "Hey, I heard that the guy's name is Peter," and then they find the guy later on as a result of a better tip, and it turns out his name is in fact Peter.
Right.
Do I get a piece?
Totally. And this is the other question. So I think, I wonder that too. Like, I think that the number, it's a one-off for each piece of information is worth the $10,000 as opposed to the collective amount is $10,000 and anybody who's contributed gets a fair share of that. I just wonder if at some point the department is like, you're like, hey, first of all, who do you call? You just call the precinct. Hey, what's up? This is Francis. I delivered information that led to the arrest of so-and-so. How do I collect my thing? They're like, oh, sorry, we'll transfer you. If you're calling about an existing claim, press 2. You press 2. Hey, this is Francis. Hey, sorry, Francis. It turns out the information that you gave us didn't actually technically lead toward the arrest of the guy. Therefore, unfortunately, you didn't give any money. Don't get any money. Thanks for being a good Samaritan. Hopefully next time we'll be able to convert for you.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if I ever have information leading to an arrest again, I'm not giving it.
Yeah, and I want, like...
I'm so jaded.
How fair are they?
Yeah.
How fair do you think they are? Information that led... So say you're like, I know a guy who knew that guy. And... So, hilarious. My phone has decided, or my watch has decided to perk up there. You got them in touch with somebody who then gave them information. That counts. You gave them information that led to an arrest.
Yeah, but what if that guy you've connected them to walks them to the evildoer's lair?
Right, no, that's just...
He's in there playing cards.
I wonder that. It's like how much of it, like, for example, in the NBA, right? For you to get an assist, if I pass you the ball and you dribble around for a while and then score, I don't always get the assist.
Right, you're saying if you hockey assist information about a bad guy.
Not even hockey assist, because hockey assist is like, I passed to you, who passed to him, and he scored.
Yeah, but if you tell them about a guy who is the guy who then tells them about where the bad guy is, that's a hockey assist.
Right, that is a hockey assist. Totally. But like, fine. A hockey assist or like a distant assist that wouldn't go on the stat sheet as an assist in basketball, is it still like, do I have to do a no-look Jokic pass between the legs and then you score immediately in order to get
ball
the
10,000? Isn't even dribbled. Yeah, ball isn't even dribbled, and they put it up, and if not for your pass, there's no bucket.
Exactly.
I just don't know, and I think that's something we should figure out. I'm hoping there is a police officer or somebody who has their hand on the purse strings of reward money.
Yeah, if there's anybody who understands how to redeem reward money, you will be rewarded by us.
Yeah.
If your information leads to us understanding how that works.
Yeah, and just remember, guys.
See what I've done there?
The question becomes, do snitches get stitches or do snitches get riches?
Oh. Dude, I guarantee you, you know who would know the answer to this? Any of our friends who like understand the likelihood of the outcome of a court case. That is a very sophisticated topic that somehow random people who don't seem particularly educated happen to know a lot about. First of all, it would make sense for anybody who's been arrested to know. Separately from that, like, you know, Gio and Derek Drescher know everything about being arrested.
Yeah,
because they've been to jail and they've been arrested a bunch. These are two comedians, nice guys, funny guys, who they're like, oh yeah,
good guys.
Yeah,
been to jail, good guys.
No, dude, they're literally like, oh yeah. Ever since they dropped the banana law in 1998, you can. And I'm like, what's that? They're like, what they said before is that if you had prior served time and you were caught standing to another convicted felon, you are committing a crime and therefore you voided your parole. Dude, they're like, no shit on this level. It's
That's
insane.
amazing.
I know.
Well, is that because they've been had it explained to them by a parole officer?
They've either physically dealt with it by being, quote, in the system, not even quote, they're just literally in the system, but they also understand like rapper cases. They'll be able to be like, he's doing 20 minimum. Like they know that.
Right.
They might know about this.
Right.
They might know about this. We should ask them.
Do you guys remember the story about Lady Gaga?
With the dog?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chris, please enlighten
Yeah,
us.
I remember this very vividly. In fact, Kojai and I put out a plea. We put out a plea video because she had 3 Frenchies that were taken.
Oh,
and Kojai was very interested.
2. One's name was Koji.
One's name was Koji. Koji. Very close to Kojai.
Lady Gaga offered $500,000 reward to anyone that safely returned her 2 dogs, Koji and Goose Dog, after they were stolen at gunpoint in an attack. And
the dog walker got shot.
Yes. Jesus. Now the woman who returned the pair of pooches is coming to collect in a new lawsuit. Jennifer McBride, one of the 5 people arrested in connection to the dog napping, is seeking legal action against the Bad Romance singer for not paying her the $500,000 reward that was promised.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then. Okay. So this person who is returned the dogs was complicit in the crime.
Yeah.
I think at that point you revoked your right to the prize.
There's got to be fine print somewhere.
You cannot be. Then it truly is a case of kidnapping and ransom.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I'm assuming she lost that.
I think it's still going. It was filed February 25th, 2020.
Unless Gaga had an amnesty policy of, I don't care if you took the dogs, if you bring them back, we'll look the other way and we'll leave a pile of cash in the mailbox upon the safe return of the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's that's tricky. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good one. You ever think about like, well, let me ask you this. What could you get for yourself?
I don't know, dude.
If you went missing.
Probably a lot.
You know, if you were held if you were held captive and ransomers were willing to return you to your friends, family, Hill Dog, and what is the price where let's say they had a fee, right? And on one hand, everyone was saying, okay, we're willing to pay that. Let's not ruffle any feathers. Let's not risk a hair on our beloved Juji's head. Versus where they might say, holy shit, that's so much. We need to get the police involved. We can't even.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. And to be honest, I don't want to find out. So let's just say that the people I know wouldn't be able to muster up much. I don't want to manifest a kidnapping here.
Well,
you know,
I like to think I'm part of that. We're part of that. A couple months of oops revenue. You know, we would forfeit our stake to keep you alive. I
appreciate it. But I don't want people to think there's money to be made. I don't want potential kidnappers to think that they should kidnap us.
Julio is going to shade himself like, oh, man. I sure wish my parents and my loved ones loved me more on a financial level.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Now you're talking.
Turns into the Fargo situation.
Yes. Oh God.
Very
I've never
quickly.
seen
Dude,
that.
that's such a good movie.
The movie, yeah.
You'd really like it.
Bro, I think that if I'm ashamed already about how quickly I would try to befriend my captors.
But that's what would happen. They would do that to you because it's for Stockholm syndrome purposes. You would start to empathize for them.
I don't know that every captor tries to get you to be their friend.
True, but I'm realizing that in my Afghanistan situation, that was what was happening to me.
Yes, that makes sense. But that's because you would be a political pawn you could be a propaganda piece for them. See, look, we have a white American who is saying we're not so bad.
Wait, but what do you? No. But what are you saying though?
I'm saying that if I were captured by some malevolent beings, some bad people, bad hombres, I would try to make them laugh. I would try to get them to be my friend.
I think that would happen.
No matter what.
I think that would happen. And then I think that it would make it so that you could last a while in their captivity.
Yeah, I think that's, for me, it's self-preservation. But even if they were enemies of the state, even if they were, terrorists or just like fundamentally bad people that everyone else says, even if it were to be a bad look for me, if I finally came back and people found out that I had been nice to them instead of spitting in their face, fuck you.
Well, but dude, you wouldn't know the way everybody else was viewing the situation because you wouldn't have any access to any of that.
No, but I'd be thinking ahead.
But what do you mean thinking ahead?
I'd be thinking about, how is this going to look in the news,
but it's not
social media?
There's not going to be any footage of, but you've been taken. I mean, and in what world are you not heroic for surviving that? There's no footage of you fraternizing.
There are
them.
definitely cases where we've had kidnappings or we've had people captured where they weren't. I think probably in the case of wasn't there the Bo soldier?
Yeah, but he was like he went AWOL.
He did?
Yeah.
Bo Bergdahl?
Didn't he go AWOL? I think he just like left his duty or whatever.
I thought it was more that maybe that may be true. I thought it was more that he was captured and wasn't as loyal to the United States as people wanted him to be or something like that.
What is this, Bulldog?
Bo Bergdahl? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He was a Marine, I think.
In Iraq, right?
It was controversial. We'll figure that out. Forgive us for not having the details on that.
I'm sure it exists, but I'm having trouble thinking of an example of like somebody who was taken hostage. Now, granted, there's been a lot of stories of people who either save a hostage or were taken hostage, and they're heroes for a period of time until everybody decides to dig up their past and then brings them down.
Yeah, but my fear would be that the captors, once they're arrested, in their testimony at trial over what they did, they might start saying, Francis, when we had him in our shelter, our little shanty out in the woods, he frankly was having the time of his life. He wasn't handcuffed. We gave him plenty of opportunities to escape. And he was actually being like, yo, why don't you tell them this?
Interesting.
He led us. He brainwashed us.
So you'd be worried about that outcome.
I don't even really know what my fear is. My fear is I would be willing to do anything to survive and get back, to the degree that I might forsake my honor or my good name in that effort.
Yeah, dude, that's the idea of that scenario freaks me out. Like years go by and like everybody's sort of gotten used to life without you type of thing. Just sort of like a homeland.
Yeah.
Reintegration
is hard. I'm sleeping on the floor.
I wake up. I'm not the same.
Thunderstorms are a major trigger.
My wife slept with one of my good friends while I was gone because at first he was sort of caring for her and it turned into a romance.
Can you even blame her?
Can you even
blame her?
You were dead.
Yeah.
You were dead.
But I wasn't.
What's the movie with
Brothers.
Tobey Maguire? Yeah.
Oh.
He has that crazy.
Also happened in Pearl Harbor.
There you go.
Seems to be a common theme. Do we have any info on Bo Bergdahl over there?
Yeah. Military prosecutors allege that Bergdahl committed the crime of desertion, meaning abandoning his post with no intention of returning. And so he was in trouble because he put other people at risk for searching for him.
Yeah.
Oh, but he did get captured, right?
Yeah, he was captured, but because he left his post.
I see.
He's in trouble for that before being captured.
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
Got it.
I don't know what that's crazy.
Dude, you know what I hate? This is a little bit of a right turn, but I've realized I hate this. I hate when people text me, if it's not like a work email or like an official thing, when people say please and then say the thing. I hate that.
What is it?
Like,
give me an example.
I got into a fight. Hillary and I got into a little bit of a bickering match over this because she was doing something really nice for me, which of course eclipsed whatever issue I have with the specifics of the way that she communicated. However, I did make sure to say something about it because she said, please hold so-and-so time. She said, please keep 3 o'clock open.
Mm.
And I just hate the way that reads.
Right.
It's like, it reads as like a demand, as like an order.
Mm.
Please do this. You like, I don't know. Am I wrong about that? Like, this isn't Slack. You're texting me.
This is the problem with texting. It's one of those things where if she'd said it to you on the phone, I'm sure she would have used the right intonation where you wouldn't have
totally
read it wrong.
But also, the same thing happened in reverse. By bringing that up, it seemed as if I was being more severe about it than I really was. I was just kind of like, hey, like, obviously, this doesn't matter at all, but, like, can you not text me like that? Instead of being like, why are you saying please? That's really fucking annoying. When she said when she was doing something very nice for me.
Yeah.
Which, of course, eclipses it, but I don't, it's on the pet peeve list.
The point is, Julio, we got to be better.
You and I?
We gotta be better.
Dude, so you think I'm wrong here?
No, I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I do think, yes, I mean, to some degree, when you explained it just now, didn't you just admit that you thought that you...
I thought that whatever she was doing for me in that situation eclipsed her usage of words.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Meaning, doesn't mean she could have said whatever, but she's doing something nice, and she doesn't... I know how she means it, I just don't like it.
Then let's just
Please close the lights before... That's how it reads to me. Please put your seatbelt on. Please.
Yeah, that is...
What if it's used at the end of the sentence? Is
better,
it
it's better.
I can't think of the last time I saw the word please in a text.
Please. It's bad.
I mean, the only time I ever see it is yes, please, as a response.
That's great. Yes, the word please is fine. But like, if I'm like, oh, could you give me the directions for the thing? Please refer to the... It feels like passive aggressive. Or it feels like I'm being bad and now I'm being scolded. So you're saying please.
I get where you're at now, and I retract my earlier point. I think I was speaking more about my own shame and shouldn't have lumped you in with it.
Thanks.
I need to be better. I do.
Yeah, dude, my pet peeve list is unreasonable, but that's why they're pet peeves, dude. Like, have I said this one before? When people say, if you go, oh, you went on vacation to Europe, what are you doing? Where'd you go? And they go, we did. Have I said this before?
You've said that.
I hate that one. We did Rome. We did Capri. The blue grotto, the water. Mm-hmm. We did the water.
We did it.
We did the Vatican.
We did it.
We did the shopping. Dude, I hate that, bro. Uh-huh. I don't know. Pet peeves. I hate weaving. Did I ever talk about weaving? I hate weaving.
Like driving?
When you're walking around the New York City streets.
Oh, golly.
I
thought you meant
oh my God,
baskets. And I was like, how on earth does this arts and crafts thing irk you on that level?
Dude, so much that I'm actually uncomfortable right
We
now.
need weavers.
Weaving. But like through the streets?
No, I mean people to make baskets. We need them.
I hate weaving, dude.
Those people create fine crafts for us. They give us things to do in third world countries. Places to shop for knickknacks.
Weaving. Selling.
They give us bargaining power. Weaving in the city, walking, you don't like.
I also don't like May I have another helping of potatoes?
These are
I
very
hate helping.
These are very different pet peeves. All of these things are very different.
Helping. A helping? Dude, I hate that. I just hate it.
Would you mind? May I have another plate?
I don't love that, but it's not quite on the
Okay.
list.
Can I serve myself seconds?
Yeah, seconds are good.
That's your favorite?
That one's fine. No, I also hate when the food becomes available at like a big event and everybody lines up with the little plate, dude.
Well, what else are we to do? What else are we to do?
I do it too. I still hate it.
No, but otherwise we're just a gangbang over the buffet, waiting our turn, keep getting ourselves ready.
You're fighting. You're fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, you have your little plate, dude. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
All right, you've had enough. It's my turn. let me get at the ravioli.
Dude, all right, here's another one I hate. I hate especially when it's used cheekily. You're like, yeah, come over, whatever. I say something and you say what? And I go, oh, did I stutter?
That's so aggressive. Who says that? Have you heard that recently?
It may have been a childhood thing. I haven't heard it recently, thankfully.
Yeah, that's cruel.
That would have thrown me for a bit of a ride.
We don't make fun of people with stutters. That's an amazing thing where we'll make fun of a lot of people in the world. People will get made fun of, but I don't think people with stutters get made fun of that much.
Yeah.
Maybe kids do because they're horrible and they haven't learned it yet. But adults, have you run into somebody with a speech?
Yeah. If you start going, ooh, you can't do that.
We
They're like, ooh.
That is so bad. It's so bad. Bro,
It's so bad.
have you run into somebody with a speech impediment recently?
Just the guy on the street who was in a dress. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't even talk. I only did it a couple times.
I know,
'cause
you feel bad
it was
about it.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into someone, I'm not going to say where or when, but I ran into someone not long ago who had a speech impediment. And it was more of the kind of sort of like the way that a child speaks.
Like a child's speech.
They had a hard time with their R's.
Yeah.
They were not.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have the R's, and if you don't have it at that age, you're never getting them. They're not coming. You're not getting your R's. If you get to a certain age and you don't have your R's, you're never gonna have them. Do you know? We're doing the very thing that we said we shouldn't do.
No, I know, but I'm just laughing at Ryan.
You have to think that these people have had rounds and rounds of speech therapy, and that you can only get so far. And
tough,
if
dude.
you are that age and you don't have your R's, then your mouth was never meant to arrive at that ability. It's evasive.
Dude, and it's so shocking because usually by the time they're an adult, they have it all together, and you don't see it coming. They're like, "Oh, dude, I love Momofuku cake, dude. The frosting,
The frosting. Yeah, their R's or W's.
I know.
If your R is a W and you're in your
frosting.
20s, we will agree to not point it out because we know how hard you've tried.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
hard.
just the way of it.
I know.
And that's what I ran into. And you feel very few things make me feel more sympathetic
Agreed.
to a person
That sucks.
than that.
So who is the person like? Where'd you?
I'm not even going to say.
Yeah.
In the odd event that this person somehow sees this.
But you know the person?
No, I'd met them once briefly. They were helping with something. And it just kind of broke my heart. And what I do is I overcompensate. I listen so hard so that I don't have to ask them to repeat themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something about somebody who struggles with speaking where you're sure they're self-conscious about it, and maybe that's patronizing, and I'm sorry if that is.
As long as it's not, then it's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
It might not be.
Well, that's a question.
If you're just if you're really listening, they don't know how poorly you normally listen.
Yeah. Yes.
Therefore, it's fine.
Yes. But here's my point, right? Here's my question. Ideally, that person wants to be treated the same way that you would treat another person. Anyone, right?
Right.
Do not point out this thing. But in so doing, should I then lower my listening attentiveness to the same way that I would listen to anyone, which might cause me to say that again, or what'd you say? Or should I heighten my listening? Should I give them my full superpower listening to help them avoid ever having to repeat themselves because they may be self-conscious?
So I think that's fine, dude. What wouldn't be fine is if if there's an example where like there's a list of items and they have to say them out loud, and you purposely are creating a scenario where they don't have to say it. If you're
leading them, you're
like, do you want
overhelping?
You're overhelping. You're like, we'll have 2 burritos because you don't want them to have to say burrito.
Yes, right.
Because you know they can't.
Yeah, that's probably patronizing, and they can be like, I can do it myself.
Yeah, they'd be like, I don't mind saying burrito, dude.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter.
Now,
and then you're a dick.
It's so hard, man. Us talking about it in real time, I would never laugh. I wouldn't, because I feel too bad.
It's not funny. It's just the way we're talking about it is funny. Like that, it's uncomfortable. And yeah, we're laughing, like Ryan's laughing in the way we're like, when you learn about sex and they give you the penis and vagina manual, and you look at it and you laugh.
It's not funny. It's just the idea of the situation is unimaginable. Overanalyzing it.
It's unimaginable. Agreed. Okay, here's another one. This one's a little adjacent to this. People that have thick accents. People with unimaginable is such a strong word.
Right. Is that not okay? No, it's just funny. Now I'm in that part of class where my head's down, and if I look at you, I'm gonna start laughing.
We need to hide. Yeah.
Guys, this summer, if you're looking for some new gear, we really recommend going to Express to grab it.
Honestly, at this point, I'm not really sure I'm ever gonna shop anywhere else again for the rest of my life.
Lots of great essentials, lots of flexible clothes, and also lots of cool sort of, more novelty items, I would say. Like, I really love this modern prep short sleeve sweater polo. Super sick. And a great summer item. I'm looking forward to frolicking around Europe, rocking it.
Bro, the linen t-shirts are such a staple at this point of my wardrobe. I think that is the only shirt I might need to wear for the whole summer.
Dude, it is really, really good stuff, man. That is 100% true. Francis right now is wearing the solid linen blend t-shirt.
Love
pastel lavender color.
Yeah, the pastel lavender. I'm ready for Provence.
It's very, very sick. And we've also got ourselves some awesome matching short sleeve and short outfits as well. They're going to be in some of our other content this month, which is pretty sweet. Right now I'm wearing the solid 7-inch hyper stretch elastic weight short. I also have some awesome printed swim shorts and a print top to go along with it, which Francis also has. Express is where you got to go. It really is amazing. Yeah. And Francis was asking me the other day about, the utility of some of our partners, and we both agreed that Express has been really awesome because we've been able to fully fill out our wardrobe, both with everyday things and stuff that makes us look sick in the summer, showing up.
One of those great partners of the pod where we actually love the benefits of wearing what they have for us. Guys, right now, Express is always running awesome sales. So we're excited that we have the code OOPS for 10% off online that you can use in addition to the deals Express already has. You can head to express.com for your summer wardrobe. Guys, that's code OOPS for 10% off at express.com. Okay.
Strong accent?
They're foreign.
Okay.
Uber driver.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. And they're trying.
Yeah.
And they're trying to speak English. But maybe they are from a country where there are certain countries where the native language, for some reason, makes English sounds and accents far more difficult than others.
Mm-hmm.
Certain countries have no problem with it. I mean, we'll throw an olive branch here. The French have a hard time with English. Their sounds are so different. We can all make fun of the French.
They sound cool, at least when they try.
You think?
Like, dude,
I think they sound silly.
I have no problem doing this exercise because I know how stupid Americans sound trying other languages.
100%.
So it's like, it's fine. It's like, so I'm making fun of people, but I also sound ridiculous.
Right.
So
right.
But for the French, it's better to be like, where is the ball, than me be like, je voudrais une.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's probably true. So, okay. My question would be, let's move away from the French because they're such a punching bag historically. But, you know, I will say that like people from Spanish speaking countries, I think have a better time. Speaking English is more available. It sounds better than people from France trying to speak English. But there are other countries where I would say even Arabic speaking countries have a better time speaking English than a lot.
And I think what he means by this, I don't want to pose words in your mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong, but like you mean how good they sound when they do.
How decipherable it is. Right. With the same amount of time spent in country learning the language.
Yeah.
But
my boy used to get bullied. He was like an international student. He's from Germany, grew up all over the world, ended up in San Francisco for high school, and he used to pronounce things like goofily, and his friends would make fun of him.
That's tough.
And like he laughs about it now, but like he would say sloosh poopy, and they would like make fun.
That's
they
funny.
never let him forget it.
But again, I mean, there's something about the Germans where I just don't feel that bad.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to go back to World War II. It's not even that. It's that they're a post-industrial country with incredible, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, right.
They're not a victim now of anything. So
yeah, and like there are people that like when they travel around Europe, other Europeans will like give them shit for being like quote lame.
Yeah, they have their shit together so much
like
that it's almost like fine to make because it's not punching down. We're not punching down with the Germany.
Okay.
Or France really. But there are countries, there are people that I will run into in America where when they're speaking to me, I will lean forward and open my ears as wide as fucking possible because I don't want to ask them, could you repeat that? Or try to guess wrong at what they're saying because I feel like it's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I don't know what you're saying. But I think you're in your own head, like you being like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, but if they repeat themselves again and I still don't get it, and then they do it again and I still don't get it, we're in trouble. We're in a bad place. Now we're in a bad place. Now I'm racist. I'm xenophobic, bro. That it is that way.
No, dude, you just don't understand. That's not being xenophobic.
Yeah, but bro, if they are still trying to convey their message and they think they know they're saying it correctly, but their accent's just so thick that I can't get it, where do we go?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's next?
Them doing it in like the translation app,
spelling it out,
writing it out,
or just say the letters. God help them if they have no grasp of our alphabet.
Well, but this is it. Okay, what like I've always found I've been in a lot of situations in my life where I can't communicate with somebody because neither of us speak each other's language, and like gestures are very powerful to like help get something over the finish line. Especially if the guy kind of speaks, he's like, where are you going or whatever, and like you can't understand it at all. If he starts doing this or that's helpful.
Okay, fine,
arms.
Fine. That is I agree, but I'm talking about a situation where the person doubles down, triples down, quadruples down in saying the same thing again and again, and they're not saying it a different way. They're not slowing it down. They're not sounding it out for you. They've lived here long enough. They feel like you should get it.
They feel like they got it. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. You could say, like, can you say it slow? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Can you say it a little slower?
Are you familiar with why I would feel like I can't even ask them to say it again because I feel like at a certain point I'm being culturally insensitive?
Like, not really. I'm not.
Interesting.
So
this
maybe
has come up to me.
Is that a good sign for you or bad?
Well, I think it comes back to what we talked about with the person with the speech impediment,
me,
where
it's
it's
like-
treat them the same way that they would want to be treated by everybody.
I'm not. I like a specific ethnicity or race is not coming to mind as you do this.
To be honest with you, it's not for myself either. I'm not thinking of a
Okay.
specific country of origin,
Mhm.
or I know this has happened. And it happens on the phone sometimes too. When you're dealing with like, customer service or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny. I actually, when we were at dinner, there was one lady serving us who I couldn't understand what the fuck she was saying. And I was kind of
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Remember?
about. Yeah.
and I was sort of like, I guess that works because like this is this place and it's like international and all these people are going to be like huge chefs someday.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what the fuck you're
I
saying.
mean, I was resigned to not caring. Where they're like, this is our hammerfish from the blank river and under a bed of sea foam with a wasabi reduction. And,
Seafoam.
we recommend that you dab this in a little bit of water, but I'm okay.
Dude, I just pictured the chef. Like, you remember that like thing they put Will Smith in where he went deep, deep, deep into the ocean?
I didn't see that.
Oh, dude, that show's pretty cool. But anyway, those like deep, like ocean travel things, like James Cameron will be in, or the guy who discovered the Titanic. I picture the chef like in one of those, like gathering this like bottom of the sea fish or something. It's pretty fucked up.
You know what's amazing? The staying power of the Titanic.
I know. Did we talk about this on the pod? Robert Ballard. I don't know if this is like well-known information, but finding the Titanic was a front for a CIA mission.
What?
Yeah. They were looking for like a lost submarine and it was in the same area that they thought that the Titanic sank. So they were like, go look for the Titanic as a cover for what we're really doing.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why that all happened.
Wow.
And why it was this high profile thing. Is that like well known?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They were looking for 2 Cold War submarines.
Wow. Good fact.
Isn't that sick?
Good fact.
Yeah. I read that. Like, I might have read that in an elevator. You know how like elevators have the facts pop up? I was like, what the fuck? This is rich info.
That's good.
But it is amazing.
How responsible was the success of the movie Titanic for a renaissance of interest in the Titanic?
So I happened to learn about it fairly extensively years before the movie came out in school. It was like a big 2nd or 3rd grade topic or whatever. The same as the planets. You know what I mean? Like shit where like you learn about it and it's such a thing you learn about that you retain it forever.
Interesting.
Like I could tell you the 1996 Order of the Planets extremely easily. I know there's an update to that, which I'm not as keen on.
In
Pluto's-
terms of
Pluto's
how
no
distant
longer
they
a
are?
No, I think Pluto's not a planet anymore
Oh.
or something.
What is it, a moon?
I'm not sure, but they also found another planet, I think. I don't know. I don't know the update, but as of 1994, I could tell you that. That's one of the few things I remember.
Cool.
It's like a pointless thing too, in a way.
Love that.
But anyway,
Wow.
so the Titanic, I can't really answer because I happened to learn about the Titanic in great depth
Right.
as well.
Right.
Did you in school?
A little bit maybe, not a ton. No, I can't remember exactly. We sang a song in Pachanga about it.
Pachanga?
Yeah, it means the gathering in
What's-
Spanish.
What's Pachanga?
Well, we had Pachanga every Wednesday from about noon till 1:30.
What's Pachanga?
It was the lower school would gather in the gymnasium, and the headmaster of the school and the music teacher would sit with guitars, and we would sit in a circle around them and sing all together.
Wow.
And
That's
one of-
called Pachanga?
Yeah, that was Pachanga. And one of the songs we sang was, "It was sad, it was sad, it was sad, it was sad. It was sad when the great ship went down to the bottom of the sea. Husbands and wives, little children lost their lives. It was sad when the great ship went down."
That's crazy.
That was about the Titanic. There were other verses, of course.
It's fun. Yeah, that's like the classic, like, kid's song that's really tragic or whatever, like Roaring Around the Rosie or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, when the great ship went down.
Yeah. We sang lots like that. There was another sea shanty that we sang that went, oh, the ocean waves they roll, and the stormy seas they blow, for we poor sailors go skipping to the tops, as the landlubbers lie down below, 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 as the landlubbers lie down below. That was a good one. But this is the reason I'm playing this part out. We sang a couple of slave spirituals, which, looking back, was probably a bad thing to do. But one of them was, follow the drinking gourd, follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is a-comin' for to carry you to freedom, if you follow the drinking gourd being the Big Dipper, which pointed to the North Star. And most of the school was white, so it feels kind of like something that we probably shouldn't have done.
Yeah. I like Loki don't even feel comfortable with you having just sang that passage.
Right?
In this
That's
episode.
not. Now, this was a very progressive private school in Maine. So they probably it was probably around the time when we were learning about slavery from historical perspective. And I think the music teacher probably thought, this is kind of at a time, this was early 90s, I guess. So terms like cultural appropriation maybe weren't as in the zeitgeist yet, and people were not as sensitive yet. But
we did the Underground Railroad at Nature's Classroom, which is like an exercise of the Underground Railroad. And when we talked about, I forget, there was a topic about this where we were talking about like inappropriate exercises in like history class.
Yeah.
This was a thing that like 50 people emailed us about, because people who did Nature's Classroom as well. I happened to not be there yet, so I actually didn't do it, but famously everybody who did Nature's Classroom had to participate in the Underground Railroad. So I don't know, whatever.
Interesting.
Similar thing, like thing that didn't age well, basically.
Yeah.
But at the time,
yeah.
it didn't seem
but
weird.
Look, I think there's a challenge to it from an educational perspective where, young kids, are they going to process the material better from a textbook in a totally just, we are going to remain sensitive to this difficult material and not try to make it interactive? Or
I understand the reason for making it interactive. It sometimes makes it, one of those exercises where like the teacher will do something and then by the end show that's how Nazi Germany happened or something.
Yeah.
Where I know that like it comes off as insensitive, but like I understand the idea of having exercises like that to like show in a like very small way the way that like groups of people get manipulated or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I get why we don't do it anymore, but
I guess my question then becomes, what is the appropriate age to teach things like, let's say, the Holocaust? Because we learned about it. I remember reading Elie Wiesel's Night. Did you ever read that?
No, but he was a professor at my school. I like sat in on some of his lectures and stuff.
I mean, he's one of the greatest minds
Is he
ever.
still alive?
I think he might have passed away, but I know didn't he win the Nobel Peace Prize,
yeah.
or he was a Nobel laureate?
Yeah.
What's that? Ryan, you got some?
No, Ryan was reaching for the mic. And
He passed in 2016.
Yeah. And we read Night, and I think it was in 7th grade, or maybe it was 8th grade, and it was so harrowing, the details, that looking back, I'm not sure that my mind was ready for the magnitude of that horror at that age. But how long should our students go without knowing things like that?
Well, listen, it's a good question, and I think that it's important to learn about all that stuff. And like you experienced in the Genocide Museum in Rwanda, the idea of, as horrifying as it is to revisit it, it's important because for whatever reason, it keeps happening And the more that people understand the horror of it, the less likely it is to happen. And you could argue that now, especially as, you know, the final Holocaust survivors are sort of the flame is being extinguished on their lives, and time goes on, and there are no longer people alive who are part of it. The people who say it never happened, you know what I mean, are going to be more and more powerful. So it's important to remind people that it in fact did happen.
Right.
And everybody should be learning about it from a young age.
I completely agree. But I also think that, you know, I went to the genocide memorial at a time in my life when I had the temperament to appreciate it properly and to process it as respectfully as it deserves to be processed. Whereas, you know, if I had gone there when I was on a trip with my family when I was like 6 years old,
right,
a lot of that would have either been over my head or it would have fucked me up.
Right.
Which maybe that's good. I don't know. I still wonder, just from an age perspective, where some of these things that obviously need to be taught, what the appropriate age is for that.
I remember going to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. when I was in 7th grade, and that seemed like a pretty good age. Like, I remember not anticipating the weight of the occasion, and the teachers giving us a bit of a disclaimer, being like, you're going to see people, like, being emotional and shit in here. Like, you expect that and be respectful.
Right.
And we're all like, oh, okay. And then it was like a very heavy experience. And I remember very vividly seeing like all the shoes.
Yeah.
And you know, there was things about it that were like some of my first memories of like learning about sort of large scale trauma in that way or something. And it seemed, I must have been 13. So maybe, I don't know, around then.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe that's just specific to me, but I wonder, to your point, like if I was 6, that seems way too young. Is 10 too young? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
anyway. that's good. That's good. I think we approached that with the right gravitas.
Yeah, agreed. Dude, on a nice hot pre-summer day, nothing I enjoy more than a fresh Hangobi, baby.
Is that right?
Cheers.
Cheers, old boy.
Drinking a wake, so refreshing. This is the time of year for the wake, dude. European clay court tennis season. Tennis is on right when you wake up. You crack a can, you pour the wake over a big ice cube, and you sit there and you enjoy it while you watch.
Yeah.
What? Those are tennis grunts. It's a good beverage. You should grab some.
It's an herbal elixir for recovery, guys. And you know what? I agree completely. I can taste the herbs, and I feel elixed.
Francis is elixed.
And recovered.
Which he will need depending on whether or not he decides to get back in the gym. The Hangobi is good for all your needs. 3 different delicious flavors, all with different utility, all with different flavors. We have the Wake, the Calm, the Essential. You can buy them where Hangobis are sold, which is in over 500 stores, or online at hangobi.com. And right now, if you go to hangobi.com, any purchase, if you use the promo code OOPSI'mHung, you can get 30% off of your first order. That's hangobi.com, promo code OOPSI'mHung for 30% off. We think you're going to love them. Grab yourself a case today.
Yeah, let's do an email. Bring us home with
let's do a quick
uplifting email.
Lighten the mood a bit. But listen, important to talk about all this shit. Okay, this is called Twins and Game Theory. This email's from 2021. So hopefully the guy who wrote this is still listening to the show. It's interesting. He goes, "Hey guys, lifelong fan of the pod here. Wonder how that aged. Hopefully he's still listening. At a bar, I recently ran into a set of attractive, identical twins that I kind of knew in college. I hit it off with one a bit." He goes, "At least I think I did. I can be quite gauche. While the other was busy catching up with the rest of my group of friends. The problem is that I cannot tell them apart, and I cannot remember which one I hit it off with. For the record, I'd be happy to succeed with either of them, but I'm not sure how to move forward because I'm assuming that I would have a better chance with the one that I, quote, hit it off with.
Yeah. I
feel like I'm now trapped in a prisoner's dilemma. I don't know. I'm not a game theorist. Any input to mask my gauche qualities would be appreciated."
Okay, so you need to tell me about game theory.
I don't really, I couldn't summarize it.
I don't have it. I don't know what it is. I'm not familiar with either game theory really or prisoner's dilemma.
Game theory is like the John Nash thing, right? Beautiful Mind. I don't remember specifically what it is.
Game theory is the study of the ways in which interacting choices of economic agents produce outcomes with respect to the preferences or utilities of those agents.
It's not going to help us much.
But that's what Beautiful Mind is about, that, right? The guy who created that.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
Yes.
John Nash. So I'm not sure. I don't think I could summarize it.
Okay, fine.
Hey, guys, by the way, we will read... Chris, go ahead.
Game theory is a mathematical concept that seeks to identify optimal decisions among competing players.
Okay.
I looked it up. Game theory for children.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, nice.
The study of how and why people make decisions.
Okay, solid. That's good. And guys, by the way, no need to tell us what game theory is because we'll read about it after this and know, so we don't need like explanations from people.
All right, but hold on. If someone has a really good concept, especially as it applies to this situation, I think that'd be kind of fun.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't mean to disagree, but okay, so let's just focus on what he should do here.
I think it's just generally what's the most efficient way to get his end result.
Got
it.
Got it.
All right, so fundamentally, he's got a 50-50 shot if he just goes in, in the dark. Hey, DMs one of them or text one of them. Hey, loved talking to you. Would you like to get a drink sometime? I think the good news is he knows that he's attracted to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he gets the wrong girl, at worst, she's going to be like, huh, that's out of the blue.
Right. That's what my thought is. I think you should specifically reference something you talked about in the conversation.
Oh, you do?
Because to your point, you're like I was saying to you about the Hangobi. And she's like, we didn't talk about Hangobi.
Yeah, but then you're done.
No, you're not. Then you're like, oh, I must have talked about that with someone else. And
I see.
And she might know that it was her sister, but who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. You don't care about her anyway. You want the other one.
Yeah, but don't you worry that getting the wrong sister is going to disqualify him because they'll tell each other?
No, because he can do it ambiguously enough that she can't for sure say that he did that.
Yep.
He can be like, I talk about Hangobi all the time. I thought I talked to her about it.
I think that's a fair play, but I worry that twins might be sensitive to being mistaken for each other a lot, especially when it comes to dating, and that's someone who is not perceptive enough to know which one they were talking to, because I'm sure she told him her name.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he knows their names potentially.
Yeah, and so if he gets the wrong one, that is, If
he says the name, he's a sitting duck. But if he references of the conversation, I think it's his best shot.
Yeah, but he's showing his hand by the way which one he chooses to message.
Yeah, but is that what he's saying? He's saying if it was in, let me see. Is he saying like in person what he should have done, or now moving forward?
No. Now he wants to ask one of them out. And he wants to ask the girl out who he spoke with.
Yeah, I guess that my thing doesn't work for that scenario.
I guess,
really sure.
Look, fundamentally, all right, what I would suggest is I would ask his buddies first, which was the girl that you guys were all catching up with? That's not the one.
Gotcha.
And one of them will know, hopefully. And then you go to talk to the other girl. If that fails, I think you got to go with the 50-50. I think you got to just try.
You got to try.
Hey, loved talking to you. It was so great. Thought we really hit it off. Would love to grab a drink sometime.
And to be honest, like from a DMing perspective, if that were relevant here, it's a much easier mistake to make.
Yep.
Quite frankly, because you don't see that well. You didn't have your glasses on when you were looking at the phone. It was an honest mistake,
I don't know.
I'm a -3.
I don't know if he's getting away with it. If he gets it wrong, I think he's done. I think you just have to, unless.
Probably. But, ask for permission later or whatever the phrase is.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission. Yeah.
Ask for permission later?
Yeah, but what happens if he gets the wrong girl, but that girl still says yes?
It sounds like he'd be fine with that.
Exactly.
which could be the problem here.
If that comes out at their wedding,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Oh boy.
You do like Instagram stalking. So you take one of the topics that you discuss, and let's say she really likes hiking, one of the sisters that you talk to, stalk both their Instagrams, look for the photos where there's a lot of hiking going
But
on.
if I know these twins as well as I think I do, they both like hiking.
They both do it, yeah.
Yeah, they both like hiking.
Dude, speaking of which, last thing real quick. I heard a story about, and somebody that I know did this. They were giving a speech at a wedding, and say it was like the maid of honor or whatever. And they're like, I actually happened to bang Tom, but like nobody knew that. Nobody knew that, like the bride didn't know. And she said that in the middle of the speech.
A maid of honor or
An
something?
actual person that I actually know. This isn't like an urban legend. This is a real, and then like kept carrying on about it, dude.
Boy.
I don't know what made me think of that, but that's fucked up, right?
Dude, that to me just speaks to how much the goal of being funny can really cause
fuck you
people
over.
to not
I know.
get it right.
I know.
Because it's not, it's a puzzle, and people will lose the sight of what they should do when when that's the goal.
Totally, dude. Totally.
Yeah.
Can I share a moment of overanalysis with vulnerability to you, Francis?
I would be thrilled.
Okay, so last week
This is what I live for.
we were shooting something at Francis's, some Barstool content, and we were wrapping up, and Francis was making Negronis, and there was a group of other stooly guys there, and Francis was like, yo, you guys want to hang out, watch the Celtics game? Sierra's out of the house tonight, and I was like, okay, that'd be nice. I like to watch the first quarter with Francis. That sounds good. Like, yeah, I'm going to take him up on it.
What day of the week is this?
Was it a Wednesday?
That sounds right. Something like that.
This was on Wednesday, and the rest of the guys, before I responded, gave kind of half, yeah, like, okay, yeah, like, maybe, like, yeah, that sounds good, but, like, didn't fully commit to wanting to hang. I looked at Francis, and I was like, dude, I'm down to stay and watch some of the game. We go outside, we walk the dogs, we smoke a little bit, and then a long time passes, and now I'm starting to, get in my head. I'm starting to overanalyze everything. And they were having not intense, but it was a conversation about the economics of real estate and how it is affected by global warming.
So yes, it is. What are we going to do with people who are displaced by global warming, and how will that affect land values?
Yeah.
It was a ridiculous conversation.
And so I was high. I probably had some uh-huhs and head nods in me. Nothing else. I had nothing to add. So I was kind of just sitting there. I was being quiet, and it is what it is. Francis is like, do you have anything to add? I was like, I got nothing to add.
I was
it.
I was being certain to get everyone's opinion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was so quiet during that moment that the circle, I was
You're shaking.
unintentionally. I know, because this is, but don't worry.
It was
we're
powerful weed. It was too powerful.
We're gonna land the plane here.
Uh-huh.
So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm sitting next to Francis. So it was like a box with one person on the side. They ended up making another circle, so I was super out of the circle.
So
no
you're
one's
in the
fault.
second circle.
I'm just outside the circle.
You're
facing
sitting behind the
outwards.
couch, effectively.
I'm sitting behind the couch looking the opposite direction. And that's fine.
If the
Blair
circle's
Witch Code guy.
it's like the circle's a Q and he's the tail.
Yes. And I'm facing outwards looking at all the other letters. So this happens, and whatever. Now we're walking back. There were 3 guys we were with. One of them was like, yo, I'm dipping. Dap up with Fran and the boys. He's out. Other 2 guys were like, Francis was like, you guys coming back? The other 2 guys were like, no, we're gonna head out, but I left my keys in your apartment, so I gotta go up. Now, I left my backpack and the tripods up at Francis's apartment, so I was gonna have to go back no matter what, because I thought we were all gonna watch the Celtics game.
Mm-hmm.
And we go up on the elevator. I'm high as a kite, and we go around the corner, and there is Sierra, who we thought was to be out and about for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Little do we know, I think a longer time passed than we anticipated to be out with the dogs.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, what are you doing? And she was like, hey, I was locked out. And I have a girlfriend. So I know that when that moment comes, all plans are canceled. you gotta get to that, and you gotta deal with that. That's a tough thing. You gotta be there for her. And so as soon as you went to open the door, you explained to Sierra, you're like, hey, Nick and KB, they're on their way out, and Ryan's gonna come in. Maybe watch the Celtics game for a minute. And I was already going to leave, but I just wanted you to know that when you opened the door, I sprinted to my backpack and to the tripods, and I threw them on. Sierra went into the other room. You were like standing in the foyer area, and I was like, Sierra, have a good night. And I dapped you up. I was like, enjoy your business. And I was out. And I just want you to know that I picked up on all of that.
Bro, I said thank you, Ryan.
And I remember
did I even say that was really cool of you?
No.
Because when you left, I immediately went into Sierra and I said, Ryan is the most intuitive person I've ever met.
Thank you.
You read. I noted it, and I even thought I thought about texting you to say thank you for reading that situation so well, because she was a little out of sorts, and her energy meant we need the house back. We need our home back. We can't have guests watching the game right now. And you read it without making any kind of an issue of it. You didn't make her feel bad. You didn't make me feel uncomfortable. And I noted it, I clocked it, and I meant to really honor you for it.
Just wanted to let you know.
So what was your vulnerability?
Telling that story. Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe I had done something that made you feel unwelcome.
No,
or...
I think I maybe led that into you possibly thinking that. I just wanted you to know that I caught on.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to.
Bro, I saw that. I saw that.
Great.
I thought it was one of the most gracefully handled exits that I've ever seen.
Well,
but I also think all of us, not to take anything from you, we're all pretty aware people like that. And I'm happy that I don't think there's anyone in this room who in that situation goes to the fridge, pops a beer, and goes and sits down on the couch. What channel is it? What channel's the game on? Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't want you to think that was going to happen for a sec. So I'm glad that we got to talk about it, though. Because it felt like last time we recorded, we didn't bring it up, and I thought it was going to get lost.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad as well. And also for you being left out of the joint circle, I don't know how you got skipped in the rotation, and we felt bad about it.
You didn't need to feel bad. I said nothing. I was so high.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to add. And there was nothing for me to add. I told, like I said,
no, but you got skipped on the first pass of the joint.
Oh,
that's what happened. And then we were like, oh shit, because I think I then offered it and you took it, and then we were like, oh, why didn't we get you the first time?
Oh, yeah, that was nothing.
Sounds like you didn't need another hit anyway.
No,
so that worked out.
It might have been one of those infused joints.
Yeah,
or the 40% THC situation.
I'm just glad we got to talk about it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, Ryan. Good contribution.
Good job, Ryan. You did well.
This is what we do. What a roller coaster today.
All right, let's bring it home.
Yeah.
Facts with Ryan. We got
Facts
everything?
with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
Yeah, this is a serious one. This is very interesting. As of 2021, there were 31 states that were not required to teach about the Holocaust at all in their school districts. Starting in 2023, 2024, all states will be required to integrate Holocaust material.
That's a nice thing.
That's good.
And then, so for claiming a reward,
good
for having any information about somebody that's in big trouble, the Office of Criminal Justice has the WCRP, the War Crimes Rewards Program.
Wow, that's a big
name.
And
I read the FAQ. Will you keep my identity confidential? Your identity and all identifying information is 100% confidential. We do not publish anything about the recipient of these rewards. What rewards has this WCRP paid in the past? We take the anonymity of our reward recipients very seriously for their safety. All rewards are paid and remain confidential, so there's no answer there. The program has paid more than $8 million.
Wow.
Contributed across 20 cases.
Wow.
However, we cannot share any specifics
It's a lot of
about
scratch.
individual cases or recipients. And then another one, the last one to note, I have information about a fugitive, but I fear for my safety. Can the WCRP offer me or my family protection? The WCRP cannot offer protection, but we keep your identity completely confidential and will not share it with anyone without your express permission. If you receive a reward, you can use that money to relocate or otherwise keep you and your family safe.
Damn.
Surprised at that note there.
That is a pretty savage.
Mm.
That's a pretty savage one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Mm.
Very good. Francis, where are you going to be coming up?
I'll be in Pittsburgh, June 8th and 9th, coming right up. City Winery. And then a month after that, I'm in Seattle Tacoma and Spokane out in Washington. That's July 19th and 20th. Can't wait for those shows. Tickets at francisellis.com.
And I'm going to be at Good Times. Why do I keep saying Good Times? Can you fix that? I'm sorry.
Good nights.
I'm going to be at Good Nights in Raleigh, June 13th. Zanies in Nashville, June 14th. Punchline Atlanta, June 15th.